Tyrell, an interesting finish there. Some emotions running high in the cage after the fight. Can you just walk me through it from your perspective and how you're feeling coming out of that one?
I feel great coming out of the fight, man. I went to TikTok in to get inside. He stepped forward, so I went for the shot instead of throwing a punch, and I guess I made contact with my head. Beside that, I was running through him for the takedown. As you see, I finished on top, and then the fight went from there.
Yeah, and obviously you didn't inadvertent head contact, but you did feel some sort of clash there?
Yes, I did. I didn't feel it. You know what I mean? I can only go off of what he was saying at the time. Like I said, I was just looking to get on top and continue to fight, so I didn't really know what else to do. I thought if it was contact with the ref would have saw, we would have stopped back. That's why I paused for a second on top of him and then go right to punching. And then once the ref was continued, I was continuing to fight.
For sure. And the conversation, I mean, was he saying stuff to the referee when he was down there? Is that kind of what was going on?
Yeah, and that's why I paused, because I wasn't trying to, if it's accidental contact, we can come back up. It wasn't a big thing to me. So I was trying to see what the ref was going to do and see where to play out from there. But that's what he was doing. He was telling the ref, hey, I got headbutted. The ref said continue to fight 2 times, and that's when I continued to fight.
And I know you and Matt are friends. You guys are cool and everything. Do you think there's any need for a rematch, or do you think that it's time, kind of move on?
No, I don't think. I mean, that'll be on his part to ask for a rematch. I'm the winner, so I'm just ready to keep it going.
Speaking of rematches, the cage afterwards, I know Tim Johnson was brought up. Is that where you think the direction you're going? You want a title shot? Like, what do you think's next for you here?
I want Tim Johnson. I don't want a title shot. I'd rather have Tim Johnson first. That's really the only fight I've been training for since that loss. So to me, that's with him taking that loss and me taking this big win. I think it should line us right up.
How do you think a second fight between you two would go down?
I'm gonna try to knock his ass out just like he did me.
Tyrell, congratulations on the victory. You mentioned Tim Johnson. You said that you're going to win by knockout. Is this something, when you rewatched the fight, you said you were thinking about it? Is this something you saw that you're like, damn, I made this mistake?
I mean, that week I made a lot of mistakes. That whole camp. That camp, I got sick earlier in the beginning weeks of that camp. I tore my knee wrestling Bader. I tore my PCL and MCL in one knee. Then I had COVID, so I ended up breaking the fever and like my sniffles and stuff on the Tuesday of fight week. Then my coach got it, and he didn't even train with me the whole week of the fight. Even still, he's telling me, Tyrell, hey, pull out this fight. I don't feel comfortable with this. And I'm like, yo, Tripper, this is my job. Like, sometimes you got to do this shit when you don't feel good. And I was so used to doing that while wrestling that I just took that mindset into it. Like, hey, sometimes you got to compete at 65, 60%, and that's all you got. And that's what really hindered me, because I didn't really understand it and so much of the game when he was telling me, hey, Tyrell, this isn't smart. This is a bad business move. And I'm like, yo, Trevor, shut up. I got to do this. I got to pay bills. Unless you want to pay my bills for the few months, then I'll pull out. But if you can't pay my bills, then I'm gonna be homeless, bro. So what I mean. So we got.
It's good to tell your coach this, yeah.
So me and him are best friends. So we talk to each other a little different than other guys. We got a good personal relationship.
Talking about, you say your best friend is personal. This week, you talked about your last fight got personal. Is it personal with you and Tim now, or are you taking that personal? Or
No, it's not personal. That's just a competitor to me. You take an L from somebody, you definitely want that reason.
Just a sore spot.
Yeah, I'm just a competitor. I want to compete. If that being my only loss, it makes sense to me to work my ass off to get back to him. He's been doing good since he beat me. He went on a nice little streak, and now it's over. So I want to continue making sure he understands.
Absolutely. My last question. I know tonight's your night, so I'm going to let the other guys talk about you. But I always got to ask you about wrestling. We're 2 weeks away from the Olympics. I know you're active. Give me right now, which one of the your Olympic friends are coming home with gold?
My friend that was on the team, he actually didn't get to qualify to weight, so he won't be competing. I'm hoping Gabe Stevenson does a good job. David Taylor. Can't really remember too much of the rest of the team right now, but those 2 guys are really guys who I support. Who? No, I don't like Dave at all. So I don't care how he does, but that's, I won't go into that.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Congratulations on the win. We spoke a couple days ago about how impressive a win over Matt Mitrione adds to your resume. To do it that kind of quickly and easily, that adds even more.
I hope so, I'm just here trying to build my brand, make my name, show everybody what I got.
and you made it no secret that you want Tim Johnson next. I mean, is this something you wait for if he doesn't want this fight soon? Do you try to get back in there, or do you wait on Tim Johnson?
Oh, I'm fighting. I mean, I'm not waiting for nobody. If he doesn't want to fight, that just shows more on his side that he's scared or doesn't want the rematch or whatever it is. But no, I mean, I don't really care necessarily who it is. That's just who I would prefer to fight.
Hey, congrats on winning. Listen, Tim Johnson's obviously the name that you want. And obviously Valentin is the new interim champion. And like you said, you don't like Bader, so you don't care what he does. So finally, that being said, Fedor's coming back in Russia. I can expect to say that, Valentin will be defending his interim belt in Russia. Do you want to fight Tim Johnson in Russia and then call out Valentin?
I would love to go back to Russia. Honestly, Russia's one of my favorite places. I know my coach ain't trying to travel out there, but I love Russia, so I would love to take a fight in Russia.
A few more from Zoom here. Lewis, go ahead.
It was nice to actually have people here again that I can look at. At first, I was kind of surprised when you guys started talking. Oh my God, people!
Yeah, hi Tyrell. So you have 10 victories at the big stage. You just fought a big name like Matt Mitrione. So at which point of your career do you feel like you are in? Do you feel, obviously you want Tim Johnson, but do you feel already ready to fight Bader?
Yeah, I feel ready. I kind of don't understand your question a little bit, to be honest with you. But yeah, I feel ready to fight anybody.
Michael, go ahead.
Tyrell, congratulations on your win tonight. You started your career with Bellator almost 5 years ago. What motivated you to choose Bellator as an organization to build your name, to build yourself as a fighter from the day you started until today, almost 99 events after?
The money. I was on the USA team traveling the world. I was enjoying that. I never had any aspirations to fight. And then I had a couple of fighters. I was actually training Matt Mitrione while I was on the USA team. And so that was kind of like my intro into the sport. And even then, I enjoyed it a little bit. I worked my hands barely a little bit with Henry Hoof and stuff, and kind of got interested a little bit. And all those guys down there at the Black Zillions was like, "Hey man, this is what you should do next. Like I think this is the next step for you." And it was nice to hear that. But at that time, I was still traveling the world, enjoying myself. And when Bellator presented the contract and talked to me about it, it seemed like the next best step for me.
All right, last one, Chris.
Tyrell, Chris Connor here, last call. Congratulations, brilliant performance. When you're on, it's usually the wrestling that sets up the striking. When both the Johnson loss and the Said Sauer fight, it was more, you fell in love with your striking, all of a sudden you get away from your wrestling. Going forward, how much of this fight is going to be sort of a springboard of, all right, I'm going back to what I am. I'm a damn good wrestler. I'm going to use that wrestling and just force guys to have to adjust.
Well, really, I mean, that's just the name of the game. Everybody knows that wrestling's my ace in the hole. If you present your leg, I'm going to take it. If not, then we can bang a little bit. So I think it's up to those guys to figure out how to stop me from wrestling. And if they can do that, then they can get some other problems. But really, I'm ready to show my hands. I go into Showtime Boxing, and I can show you what I really have.
All right, that was the last one. Congrats on my Tyrell.